and we're okay with like bands taking these leaps or like these risks in different directions. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not hard for me to digest Turnstile being like the biggest band in alternate. Like it's not
Yeah.
hard for me to digest hardcore being palpable like that.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm glad you're right here with me. My name is Tyler Herrera, and this is Hardcore Dropout. So that clip you just heard up front was from Tyson Evans. He is the singer and the main songwriter in the pop punk band Crooked Teeth. So I want to stop there real quick and talk about Crooked Teeth being a pop punk band on a podcast called Hardcore Dropout because it's an important topic to me. So when I started Hardcore Dropout, I came up with that name because although I've grown up in hardcore and that was really like my first love in terms of music, what really struck me the most as a kid and as I kind of found my taste outside of what my brothers were showing me was a lot of emo music, a lot of what we would consider post-hardcore and screamo back then, and honestly just a lot of stuff with melody and clean vocals. So I called it Hardcore Dropout because I felt like I would never be pure enough for the hardcore purists, right? For the people that go to Sound and Fury and base their entire identity off that scene, which don't get me wrong, I love, but like that's just not my entire identity. My musical tastes spread far and wide. And more importantly, I think that hardcore has, kind of spread off into all these really fun subgenres. And when you listen to Crooked Teeth, when you hear Tyson talk in this episode, you can tell that hardcore has had a big influence on him. And broadly speaking, I think hardcore is responsible for a lot of alternative music that we hear, or at least many of the people who write this alternative music have come in contact with hardcore and have taken inspiration from the ethics, the sound, the morals, the community, all the things that I took inspiration from, all the things that Tyson took inspiration from. We can trace a lot of alternative artists' history back to hardcore. So I called this podcast Hardcore Dropout because I am not a hardcore purist. I love all sorts of alternative music, but it does all come back to hardcore. That being said, Tyson and I had a lot of great conversation about bands like Jimmy Eat World, Green Day, Blink-182, these pop punk, emo bands, whatever you want to call them, that really, again, they're adjacent to the hardcore and the punk community. So Tyson was a really fun guest for me because I got to indulge in, conversations about songwriting, about different genres and sounds, and he's just a really fun dude. And I am so grateful that he approached me about coming on the podcast because it gave me the confidence to say, you know what, I am going to have someone from a pop punk band on the podcast because that's what I want to do with Hardcore Dropout is give a platform to voices from all these hardcore adjacent communities. So without further ado, Tyson, welcome to Hardcore
Yeah.
Dropout.
Hello.
How are you,
Nice,
man?
nice to be here, dude, in this virtual sanctuary.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you. I mean, it's super cool how we ended up talking. I followed you guys just because Jason was putting on for you guys, and then the tour got announced, and then we just started chatting in the DMs, and I think it's obvious we probably got a lot in common.
Yeah, yeah. Just by the 5 or 10 minutes we just spent briefing before this,
Yeah,
I feel like it's made pretty clear. So yeah,
100%.
dude. Likewise, super stoked. I love the page, and it's funny too because like when we followed each other and I was like scoping it out, I was like, wait a second, like my friends that I like went to high school and like middle school with, they follow this page. I was like, who is this?
Hell yeah,
Who's this guy? I gotta know who this guy is.
that's
We're probably
awesome.
gonna be friends. So yeah, I'm
Well,
glad
that
we
makes
connected.
that makes me happy because yeah, Hardcore Dropouts definitely brought a lot of good people back into my life from the past, and then also a lot of good people, new
Love
people
it.
coming into my life as well. So
Love it.
how if you don't mind me asking, just so I can kind of contextualize this, how old are you?
I'm 32. I'll be 33 in August 11th.
Okay,
The Leo
awesome. Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're the same age because I'm 32
Same
going on
class.
33. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also a Leo?
No, I'm a Sagittarius, full
Oh
Sag.
my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah,
dude.
this December 18th, right in the thick of
Love
it.
that. Oh God,
Yeah.
dude, you're like the luckiest kid ever.
Dude,
Especially if
it's
you had rich parents. Like
okay. I
birthday next to Christmas, insane. Insane.
You would think it's the coolest thing ever, but funny enough, I was a Jehovah's Witness until I was like
Oh
7 or
my,
so.
dude, that's like the worst. That's actually the most
Yep.
not ideal situation for a child.
Thousand
I'm
percent. I
so
didn't,
sorry.
yeah, I didn't know. I've never had a birthday party. My mom, like once my parents split, like my mom took us out of it. So eventually I did start getting gifts and stuff. Um, but I don't know what a birthday party's like. It was always weird getting told happy birthday when I was growing up.
Like
Um,
past that mark of that leaving. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
But
It's just so crazy.
my mom has definitely more than made up for it since then. I still get birthday and Christmas gifts from her. So shout out my mom. She's
Shout
definitely,
out, mom.
yeah, she made up for lost time for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't, I wasn't raised in Jehovah's Witness, but I was raised in a really like conservative Christian home. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
different, you know, not in that era wasn't so full on like culty, but like
Hmm.
in turn, at least, for us, but it was definitely still like a religion and something that like our, morals and everything else was like, and censorship was structured around.
Yep.
So that I can't even imagine being like kids, especially between like in that cognitive age of like, kindergarten, first, second grade, when all the other kids
Yep.
they having, birthday parties and understanding, the lore of Christmas and holidays, and you're just like, what the fuck,
Oh, dude, a
So
thousand
yeah,
percent.
and then to have to like unlearn that it's okay to like celebrate that, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's so crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just summed up like
Wow.
elementary school and junior high for me because it was like first portion of elementary school up until like second or third grade. Had no idea what to do when people would sing happy birthday, like felt totally alienated. And then
That's
the second,
crazy.
yeah, it was a trip. And then the second half, it was learning, okay, this is okay. I'm allowed to be told happy birthday and tell other people happy birthday.
Crazy
And then
question for you.
go for it.
No, I let you go first, and then
Oh, I was just gonna
you
say,
say.
and then I realized how fucking awesome birthdays and gifts are, and like I said, my mom made up for it after that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I was gonna say, do you remember? I was gonna ask if you remember your first like chain restaurant birthday. Like, do you remember,
oof.
like where did you have you yet to have an
Ah,
experience where you go to like I'm gonna endorse Chili's in this scenario? You ever had a situation where you go into a Chili's
yep,
and they come out and they're like they do the
dude.
thing and they bring it? No.
I'm so glad you say Chili's. That was literally my gut reaction. Is like, I don't remember 100%, but I'm like, Chili's was where we always ended up at. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
mine had to have been Chili's.
It's a
So
staple.
yes, I've,
Yeah.
yep, it's classic. So especially small town, like suburbia type shit. Like,
Yeah.
where else are you gonna go but Chili's?
Well, it's never too late if you can't, run it back and remember that memory, it's
True.
never too late to have it again. So
Facts.
even
So
at
this,
33.
yep, this December, y'all know where to find me.
Yeah, Chili's, baby.
Yep.
Nice, dude.
Well, so I'm curious, knowing we're the same age, what were some early albums that really you look back on and you're like, those were the ones that started to shape my musical interest?
In terms of hardcore specifically, or just in terms of sonic music discovery interest?
We'll say like alternative or rock leaning, where you start to realize like, oh, I like guitar music. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think before I even knew I liked guitar music, I really had an obsession with melody.
Hmm.
I can think of that song. "Don't be Miss American Pie,"
Hmm.
like the first thing I can remember, like wanting, like just singing all the time as like maybe a late toddler.
Hmm.
Um, and like I remember my dad had this guitar that my dad didn't even know how to play guitar, but like in wood shop in high school for senior project when they still did that, he made a guitar, and like it
Okay.
was just a front mainly, but it was like, I guess for all intents and purposes, a guitar, and it would just
Hmm.
like mimic that song or whatever. And then it was really my mom. I felt like, I mean, I knew my dad was always listening to like rock music and classic rock and country, like George Strait and stuff like that. but it was really my mom's obsession with music. She specifically, Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You, that album was on repeat in 96, 97. And like, I just really associate that album with a lot of like moments. Like I can, anytime I hear the opening track, the real, like the riff of
Hmm.
Real World that the snare hits, I'm like instantly transported to my living room and like can picture my
Yep.
mom like cleaning the house and it's like summertime and like, so yeah, that was probably the first guitar music that I was really into. And I remember stuff like, like the pop punk craze of like late 90s, early 2000s, when you're like eight,
Hmm.
9, 10. Like I remember all of that around me. And I
Yeah.
remember hearing it and observing it. But I was also like, I was at Christian school. And I think my parents were like, it was weird because like I think in that time I was probably listening to stuff more similarly like what my dad had, which I remember specifically he had the Godzilla, like the 97, 98 Godzilla soundtrack, and it
Yep.
had Cashmere on it and it had Brain Stew. And so I
Hell yeah.
remember that being in his car and like the Offspring and stuff like that. And again, like classic rock, but like the first the first CD I bought with my own money, like a guitar, big guitar song, Jimmy Eat Worried, Bleed American. Um,
Wow.
that was that when it was called Bleed American, it was still like I'm pretty sure I bought it as Bleed American. And I got it at Warehouse Music in Lodi, right across the street from the skate shop. I remember where I also got my
Fuck
Osiris,
yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it was that.
Yep.
That was my first CD that I was truly obsessed with, and I would say to follow was Good Charlotte, Young and the Hopeless. Um, and then
Okay.
it was a lot of like Christian music peppered in. It was a lot of
Okay.
like early like Christian rock, and it's funny. My drummer Jason and I, we can riff on this all day. I kind of wish he was here for this part of the conversation because we like I don't even want to reference the bands because one of them is pretty controversial right now in the news, Newsboys, and the bunch of other just kind of like lame, like Christian pop rock from like the mid the late 90s that just
Hmm.
aren't really worth referencing. And then, but it was really like the biggest moment ever for me, which is like not even that unique to me and our age bracket was Green Day, American Idiot. I mean, that was like totally swept me off my like seeing that music video on MTV in the morning
Hmm.
accidentally, hearing it every day in the car, if I was like with my dad, just like on rock radio. And then that was really like I had to go to a concert. Like I had to go
Yeah.
see Green Day. I need to know what that's like. And it was really cool because like Jimmy Eat World was the opener. It was like when Futures came out. That was like a really big
Damn.
moment for me. And then what happened from there is really important to mention for my whole like jump into just like punk rock and just any sort of like desire for artistry and expression and catharsis in music. It was like my mom. So like we were one of the families that were like not a wealthy family at the Christian school, and these are like yacht club Christian schools. These are like
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
just like this is your run of the mill Betsy DeVos like fucking sketchy ass uh just Christian school. Like it had nothing to do and not much to do with faith and more to do with just like money,
And
stuff,
status.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of that, and that happening at the same time where like pop culture is being dominated by emo and punk rock, it's still in
Yeah.
2005, 4 especially. I mean, I can think about Sugar Cult and Yellow Card and Green Day, and
Hmm.
obviously when Blink broke up, it was huge because I got into Blink
Yeah.
late, like as a real fan
Okay.
and getting into like the fandom.
Hmm.
Like yeah. So, anyways, what happened though was that there was a family at the school that like had box seats to whatever they wanted to go to at the arena. And they went and
Okay.
saw Green Day because like the parents were just out of touch with knowing what Green Day is. I mean, like, how do
Hmm.
you not know this is about to be some kind of counterculture shit?
Yep.
Anyways, so they go and like, I don't know, an hour into the show, they like call my mom because they know we're there and they're just like, this is not Christ like we're taking the kids home, blah, 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 blah. Basically pressures my mom to
Wild.
call my dad and like tells him to drag me home from the show. And my dad's like pissed because my dad's like, what the hell? Like, no, I'm seeing
Yeah.
what? Like, no. And I can see him like bickering in the hallway of the arena with my mom and this self fucking flip phone. And and yeah, and so that was a really big moment because the next like a week or two after I went to this concert at a mega church with my parents and my mom, I love her and she's also made up for it to this day, but
Hmm.
like the next morning after that Green Day show, like I was in jail. Like she like tore down the posters in my room, throw away the
Yeah.
t-shirts. Like, no, for a week or two, I didn't know what to do. I was in a panic. I was traumatized. I had no idea. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like, I just like music. I don't know. This is crazy. And so um, we went to the show at the mega church and they had like a teen store in the front that had CDs and stuff that you could buy.
Yep. Yeah.
And I got some CDs that day that honestly changed the whole course of like the trajectory of like how deep I could get into, this music and
Yeah.
and culture and stuff. And I got MXPX, Life in General, and like their current album Panic out at the time. I got Relate Kate, I got Under and Lit They're Only Chasing Safety.
Game
Um,
changer.
and yeah, and that got me into Comeback Kid
Fuck
broadcasting
yeah.
was like
Yeah.
the first hardcore album I got. Like truly the first like hardcore album I ever bought was Comeback Kid Broadcasting.
Damn,
Because
that's a
yeah,
great first hardcore album because there's heavy parts, but it also showcases a lot of melody and a lot
a
of like
lot of
more
melody,
punk.
lots of
Yeah.
metal on that album, dude.
Hmm.
Lots of shredding. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking sick album, dude. And also something that really stood out to me is you got Bleed American as one of your first CDs, and that dude, talk about guitar music. Like that is a
Yeah.
fucking great album for someone who goes on to play
Yeah.
guitar.
It's in my it's in my like Rolodex of like in my brain of like things that like constant callbacks like when I'm
Hmm.
writing music that I'm like, oh, like this is a Bleed American moment, or this sounds like a Get It Faster moment, or something on like,
Yeah.
this sounds like, oh, this is like big and huge and like something that only really Jimmy Eat World could do. I don't know. They're a
Yeah.
really special band for those of us,
Yeah.
that know, like that,
A
yeah.
100%. Yeah,
So,
I love that album. The first track, Bleed American, is so powerful right away. The guitar riff
dude,
is
right away,
awesome. Yeah, the
right
driving
away.
drums, just like the dat toot dat toot dat toot dat toot,
Yeah, yeah.
like fucking iconic, man. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
you mentioned I'm so excited to talk about this. You
yeah.
mentioned Blink 182. You said you were a little late to them.
Mhm.
Like, what album pulled you in, or what pulled you into them?
So the era that they became like present in my life was self-titled. I like church camp. I remember there's like this really, I'm like 11, 12, 13, whatever, somewhere in that age range. This must have been the '04. Like that self-titled or untitled must have already been out. And like I can literally picture it clear as day. There's like all the buses are arriving. This is at Hume Lake, a church camp, and I think it was my first time going. Everyone's getting off the buses from all the different churches from all over California, and this girl,
Hmm.
like me and my two friends, like immediately, like, and as far as my friends and I were concerned, we were Blink 182. Like to everybody
Hmm.
else around us, like we were
Yeah.
like the three, because that's how it. This is how it works. Um. Anyways, his girl has the fucking smiley hat on. She like and
Yep.
the freaking like a sweatband and a
Hmm.
Roxy shirt, and she gets up,
Yeah.
and we're just like, gosh, like she's gonna be our friend. And
Yeah.
it was so funny. I'll never forget. Like she's like, yeah, my uncle is like best friends with Tom, and like nearly, blah blah blah. Like I'm from San Diego, like all this stuff. I
Wild.
don't know who she is or where she is to this day, but that was like from that moment on, like we just spent the whole like most of the time just like in this friend group for 5 days with like this girl and her friends and like these kids that were just like really into Blink and Green Day and Sugar
Hmm.
Cult, Switchfoot, Jimmy Eat World and Blind K. And so like we just had this like it was just this like it was like 5 days long, but it just kind of felt like this infinite summer. And Blink was just like when I think of Blink, it's differently than I think of Green Day. I just like see different, obvious colors from their branding through different
Yeah.
eras, but like there's just this brightness and this like summer like nostalgia that's always that just immediately I became like acquainted with
Hmm.
them.
Yep.
Um and it's crazy. Yeah, that was like kind of the moment I got into them, and the aesthetics of that album were so dope. I had never heard music like that ever. And it was
Yeah.
crazy because I was listening to They're Only Chasing Safety or Define the Great Line, whichever one. It was They're Only Chasing Safety came first.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
was the first, yeah. And I remember listening to that and listening to the Blink album. There was this heaviness to the riff on the Blink. Like there's this, I didn't even know what post-hardcore was yet, but like
Yeah.
there was just something in the riffs and the tuning of that Blink album that, again, it's in my. If I had a Rolodex of albums that I'm like constantly pulling sick
Yeah.
shit from, it's like that's
Absolutely.
one of them.
So
And yeah, like
yeah.
they weren't perceived as like being artists who were making like a real raw, authentic like piece of art. They were just seen
Hmm.
as like fucking cash cows or something
Yeah.
to the like elder punks or whatever people who were raised on, views and all that shit. And it's like I think that now music's not digested the same, and people don't like people who are just getting into music or even like into their now mid to late 20s. They've been used to music being really eclectic and like ways of
Yeah.
discovery been totally different than just MTV or radio.
Hmm.
um and I think for you and I, we're at that tail end of like like a paradigm shift where like we were buying CDs for a while and vinyl and whatnot, but we've adapted to how we digest music now. And we're okay with like bands taking these leaps or like these risks in different directions. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not hard for me to digest Turnstile being like the biggest band in alternate. Like it's not
Yeah.
hard for me to digest hardcore being palpable like that, like or anything, because we've evolved as like a species in the way that we adapt to like I guess perceived success of something. But I think the same thing, like I compare Blink and Green Day and their journey in those albums like the same way like I look at Enema of the State the same way I just explained Dookie. It's like
Yeah.
feeling this is like an adult version of Dumpweed. It's like
Yeah.
this. It's literally like they still crushed it. The youthfulness is still there, but they found a way to like encapsulate it in a way that's like it should meet the listener like where they're at as they're growing like as a
Yeah.
person. And like I feel like, yeah, I don't know, and the storytelling is just really great. So glad we're on the same page because that's the goal
Absolutely.
right there. Yeah, both of those.
Truly, man. Yeah. What do you how do you think it's shifted now in like hardcore alternative punk music in terms of people's willingness to accept bands going bigger? Do you think it's like people are more open to it?
Yeah, I think it's like here's the thing about like hardcore and something that like I've always noticed, like anyone who loves like hardcore and pop punk and like just this really like niche, almost has a camp around it. It's like it's fun, right? Like why
Hmm.
would we be mad to watch shit like sick riffs and like a sick vibe like be a part of the curation of like I don't know, fucking Taco Bell? Like I love Taco Bell, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like,
Yeah.
what? And it's like but you still have this band who's like seizing the moment to also like help the communities around them and like, use that as a way to like lift the community. And so as long as to me that there's always like truth and good intent behind the success that comes along with
Hmm.
just like the movement, I guess, or the sound, like,
Yeah.
dude, that's where the integrity lies to me. And I
Yeah.
don't think that that changes just because someone gets like more recognition or success or I don't know, time in the studio. If anything, it's just going to get like more creative. And I think it's really interesting. Like we're the same age and I remember, do you remember when like Have Heart and Verse were having their moment and like
Hmm.
they were like peaking on the billboard and we were like, what the, like, I remember being a
Yeah.
teenager and seeing that, excuse me. I remember seeing that and just being like, whoa, this is crazy for this genre of music that I thought was just for like my friends and I. And it must have been
Hmm.
similar to how people felt in 94, 95 when Green Day and Rancid and The Offspring
Yeah.
and all these bands, and then probably hardcore with it. I would imagine
Yeah.
hardcore, adjacently went with it in the 90s in a similar way. To where like heavy music has always climbed the kind of rungs of like pop culture. It's always like
Hmm.
done it. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't think maybe it's jarring for people because that's a band that you saw at Gilman Street for, with 50 other people or less at one
Yeah.
point. Or you saw, like, I mean, I think about Turnstile all the time, dude, like seeing them. I think I'm kind of fencing like another one, but I think about like
Yeah.
Turnstile specifically, like seeing them play at the Parkside where I used to work the door here, and then seeing them
Yeah.
graduate to like opening for. They was literally a tour that was Turnstile, Turnover, and Newfound Glory, like at the
Hmm.
Oakland Metro, and then seeing and falling in love with Nonstop Feeling, and like and that being a moment, like that being
Yeah.
kind of a shift, and like it's been something that has been like I feel like growing the whole entire time. And it's to me, as someone who's like enjoyed listening and watching and being a fan, I'm always like down to just like grow with where the artist is going usually. Like, and I don't know if that's just a bias or like a sympathy I have towards like artists, but I I don't know, man. I think the journey is really dope. Like if you just embrace it. And that doesn't mean that every band is gonna write a record that blows your mind, or like locks you in forever and continues
Absolutely.
to. But like, I don't know. I think it's special to see things get recognition on kind of
Yeah.
in a bigger, more sonic space like that. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
I 100% agree. A big reason I called this whole project Hardcore Dropout was like, I love hardcore to death. I love everything I learned from it and continue to learn from it. But I feel like I want this project, I do want Hardcore Dropout to be commercially successful. I want it to be
Right, right.
bigger. And that was kind of the idea was like, it was kind of like a nod to like, yeah, eventually someone will call me a sellout. But it's kind of like that I'm totally okay with that. And I don't
Yeah,
see,
who cares?
I, yeah, who
Yeah.
cares? And what's wrong with having ambition?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
No. Yeah,
so
totally.
I
Yeah, it's
totally feel you.
Toby Morris was talking about it recently. Who did he have on this podcast? I was listening to. And he was just talking about, the roots of like success and stuff like that. And it's just
Yeah,
like silly to just like clone people with getting more. I don't know. It's
yeah,
like,
a hundred
yeah, it's,
percent. I
it's
mean,
weird. But
yeah,
and I mean, I think that there's just power and agency in music, and especially a music that is. Am I saying that Turnstile are writing like politically motivated songs? No, but I think the culture around the cultures that come together to like support a band like that and like what the shows become and the community becomes is like so much bigger than the band,
hmm,
and I know that
yeah,
they know that and a lot of these bands and artists know that. And um I think it's like that's what's bigger than all of it is like the
hmm,
ability to like harbor community.
yeah,
Because I mean in these like trying times, like it's so important we know our neighbor and we look out for our neighbor, and like one more sick thing to have in common with a person who is otherwise different than us is like, man, like we'll take it, you know? And
Yeah.
if there's artists that are going to curate that, like, I mean, that's a powerful thing, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's to be knocked if it's all with like integrity and from a good place, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely agree.
I don't know
Especially
what
in the
the
case.
fuck my opinion is worth on that topic, but that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Hey, I value it.
So,
Maybe I'm just biased because I agree, but yeah, I see what's happening with Turnstile, and what makes me so happy is not just the sheer popularity, but that when you look at a Turnstile show, it still looks and feels like a hardcore show.
totally.
And like, and it's
Totally.
also, it's a pretty safe entry point into hardcore because you can
Yeah.
stage dive, you can sing along, you can crowd surf,
Right.
but
Right.
you're not gonna get crowd killed, you know, you're just gonna have
Yeah.
fun. And yeah, so
I think
I'm here for it.
on that note, I think that's also a tide shift that I'm really enjoying seeing in hardcore. Like,
Hmm.
as like, you know, a queer kid who like didn't really know it when I was going to hardcore shows, and like someone who wasn't like overly masculine or like didn't really have that kind of like, you know, I didn't carry myself that way. I always kind of had a hard time when I was going to, you know, I wouldn't say any names of bands because I don't think it's inherently the band's fault. I think
Hmm.
again, it was just like where the scene was, and you know, 2008 or 9 or 11, like anywhere in that gap, it was just a
Yeah.
different place. Like going to see like straight up Bay Area beatdown bands or Sacramento, you know, like
Yeah.
seeing Trash Talk or even Ceremony at that era, or you know, bands like Embrace the End. I mean, even the Warriors, like shit like that, going to those shows, like, dude, like you could just like actually get your ass whooped by someone in a crew, like who
Yeah.
just was there to be, you know, and I kind of like, and I know that like the hardcore dancing is sick, bro. Like it's all dope, and everyone who's there, it's like is willingly participating. And I think we're seeing like more of a culture now of people protecting each other and knowing that it's fun and knowing that
Yeah.
like yeah, it's a martial art, you know, it's giant martial arts, but like
Yeah.
it at the end of the day, like I feel like the again, it's a community, and it really feels like a much more I don't want to say accepting. I know there's always been acceptance in hardcore, but I feel like it's really thriving because of the diversity that it is now finding safety in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And should. I think that
Yeah.
that's going to redefine. This is going to it redefines the sound. It reinvigorates the genre. You know, I think it's really important. And like hardcore, to me, is like I don't think that I ever like you know, you and I, like, we didn't experience punk rock in the 80s or
Hmm.
90s. We didn't experience like Bad Religion shows where there's fucking riots and like, you know,
Yeah.
like we didn't experience like seeing skinheads get the fuck beat out. You know, like I don't
Yeah.
know, like we didn't. There's a lot of things that like we didn't see the culture, like the violence of it in that era, and I think hardcore was my intro to like hardcore was the closest thing I knew of a punk rock, like of a punk community.
Hmm.
And so I think that it kind of like punk took that form for me in hardcore, and I think the two are just like transversable. You know, I think it's the same
Yeah.
thing. I mean,
Absolutely.
and also just think about the shows I go to. You know, just again, like I mean, I like seeing and then another band, you know, that I think is really important, you know, that I'll always shout out in this context is like Set Your Goals was our Bay Area band who really, you know, as it was happening in other pockets of the country, like of this like kind of like merging of heavy and pop punk, like it was kind of taking what Newfound Glory was doing and
Hmm.
Fairweather and all that stuff from like the late 90s, early 2000s, and like it was like taking emo core and pop punk and like easy core, whatever, and it was
Yeah.
actually like creating a genre out of it. Um, and I think like Set Your Goals was definitely, you know, right next to Comeback Kid was like one of those bands that was my intro into just going to hardcore shows because they were playing with hardcore bands. Like their bill
Yeah.
was usually like 2 pop punk bands and 3 or 4 hardcore bands, you know, a beat down
Yeah.
band, a melodic hardcore band. Seeing the Warriors and Set Your Goals together in Santa Cruz, like that's
Damn.
all like I can
Fuck
just,
yes.
you know, and so yeah, like all of it was kind of bleeding together, which I think was really cool and really lends itself to where we are now.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, but Set Your Goals was definitely that band that was like perfectly combining strong melody, strong
Hmm.
nostalgic melody with fat fucking chuggy riffs, two-step
Yeah.
parts, beat down parts, with amazing lyrics, that really like drive a sense of purpose. And I think that I will always credit that band as being my gateway into the hardcore, like into the scene.
Yeah.
That's what really got me into like B9 bands, and that's what really got me
Fuck
into
yeah.
like just being um yeah, being involved in the scene and like wanting to know more about that sound and that like that perceived like sense of purpose in the songs. Um and so yeah, I always have to give that band their due credit in kind of in bridging over. I said
Yeah.
Under Oath is what got me into hardcore. I think Under Oath is what like enabled me to like streaming and more of just that emotion through
Hmm.
vocally.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, then like I would really say that like Set Your Goals is what got me into like melodic hardcore and like going like yeah, then they come back and are right next to each other. It's really crazy. Oh 05, oh 06. Um yeah. So
Yeah. Good era. I mean,
that's
you had
that.
wait you had Wake the Dead and broadcasting, and then you have Mutiny from Set Your Goals,
Yeah.
all in like a 3 to 4 year window.
It's
Those are
crazy.
some good bands to get into it with.
Yeah, and it was kind of like
So
oh go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so now that I have some context on like your musical background, this
Yeah.
a lot of what you write in Crooked Teeth is starting to make sense. But I'm curious, when you started Crooked Teeth, what was your like motivation with it sonically? Because everyone I think has a sound they're pursuing. What were you pursuing?
Um Gosh, that's so like the only other band I've had other than Crooked Teeth was like band I started when I was 15. It's called Second to Last.
Okay.
And you know, like I had only known like be in band, play fast punk beat, like but I again going back to always wanting things to have this like sonic pop melody, always wanting things to like I just love a fucking hook and I just love a
Mm-hmm.
memorable, whether it's a guitar hook or like whatever. And I think for me in that era of my life when I started Crooked Teeth, um, I was like, dude, I don't want any two songs to necessarily sound the same. Like, I don't want, like, when you're listening to an album, I don't want you to just listen to a lot of my favorite bands, like pop punk bands and stuff. It's like every song is just, I don't want to say they all sound the same, but like they've entered a sonic realm and they've stayed there, like their
Mm-hmm.
own
Yeah.
lane. And what I've really, I'm going to use comparisons to come back to my point, but like I've loved what Blink has done. Like I love when you
Mm-hmm.
think about like the untitled, self-titled, whatever we want to call it. One of them can
Yeah.
spank me if I'm saying it wrong. Oh, little daddy.
They would
But
love it. They would love
yeah.
it.
Anyways, but yeah, I think like when you listen to that album, like no song sounds like the one before it. Like it's all just
Mm-hmm.
got, like there's just like there's so many different genre blends. Fall Out Boy's another one who I think started to do it like in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Like bands who just haven't really and artists who haven't been scared to like blend. And that's something I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do with Crooked Teeth. That's something I still am aiming to do. Is just blend. Like, yeah, this song might sound like has, this like high energy pop punk sound, but like
Mm-hmm.
this one is gonna have a new metal bridge, or this one's gonna have, like this one's gonna have like a
Yeah.
country riff, like lead in the bridge, like like so it's like I just don't. I want myself to be able to like it's just speaking specifically to myself, as like for the most part has been the sole writer. It's like I want all of my influence to bleed out, and to be heard where I think that they are fit appropriately, in our music. And
Yeah.
so it's even hard, like we have pop punk songs, but like I don't know, I just like refer to our band as a rock band a lot of times. I mean, just because it's
Yeah.
layman to say that, I guess, but also because it's like that's kind of how I just perceive. Like it's just like this is like how I perceive rock music. Like it's not
Yeah.
supposed to have a rigid like it's just this. Yeah,
Hmm.
again, going back to a band like Turnstile, I fucking love to see it, dude. I'm like, yeah, put
Yeah.
any sound you want in there because it's music. Like it's
A
music and
hundred percent.
it's supposed to be what a new take on what you loved, in ways you didn't expect. And I think that's what I always want to be doing with Crooked Teeth. I just like want to whatever the next song we're going to release, like someone did not see that coming. And that's like what I love and I really enjoy it. And I don't say that to be pretentious. I just think it's like truly fun to always keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Um
Absolutely.
so
Well, even
yeah.
even having said that, though, and all the sounds that Crooked Teeth has had, since its inception, one
Yeah.
thing that stands out is you kind of tapped into it a little bit. You guys have a ton of hooks, a lot of catchy choruses, really great
Thank
songwriting. So I'm
thank you.
curious, what do you think makes a great song?
Um, so I just wrote a song last week and my friend, the producer and I were talking about it. I was like, it's so hard when you get like four people in a room or like everyone plays a different instrument in a room.
Hmm.
And which is wonderful when you're, I guess, playing live and you're like at a jam and you're like figuring it out. But
Yeah.
like what makes like a lot of time I feel like it's just serving the song itself. Like what is the core of the song and then like not deviating too far away from like what that original like energy was. Because I feel like that's what happens a lot is that you just like lose the original like feeling of the song. And I
The
think
original spark, right?
yeah, the spark. And I think that like what I've always really loved, my favorite artist of all time is Tom Petty. And he
Okay.
has a quote that's like, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus." And it's like, it's kind of true because in
Fuck
his
yes.
era, the 70s, 80s, like even into the 90s, you just got these crazy like cocaine bridges and like these crazy like moments where people are just like throwing whatever at the wall and the
Yeah.
producer can't get in between the egos. So you see that are just like, whatever, I don't,
Yeah.
like just fuck it, whatever. And I think like he said that, I know he's gone and like again, you know, one day he can take it up with me. But like, I feel like what he meant was just like, dude, don't try to like, it's almost like don't overserve like yourself in the writing of the, like, just serve the song and the hook and like the fucking
Hmm.
vibe of what it is. Like, and you have to do that like tastefully, like, of course, like you could add flair, you could add a six solo, you could add this, that, or the other, but like never to take away from the song itself. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And I think just a song, like truthfully, and this is what I learned and what I can always sniff out in other genres of music, that I've learned from hardcore and punk rock, music that is like just written from truly like the heart and sense. It's like, um, I can always hear sincerity in a song. Like that's one thing I
Yeah.
can always like hear from, it doesn't matter if it's a pop artist or a country artist or, hip hop or whatever. Like if you can hear the sincerity, like in a lyrical, piece, like that will always make a song so much more impactful to me to where I can actually
Hmm.
like, I can feel like I can put myself in the place of the person who wrote
Yeah.
it easier. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. I mean, that's how I try to approach music. And again, like, of course, dude, like Blink is one of my favorite bands, like I love Descendants and Bill, this, like, there's like silly shit, you can have fun
Yeah.
and you can be silly, of course. But I think,
100%.
but I think also that is genuine. That's genuine too. Being silly and having fun is also genuine, and there's a place for it. So I
Oh,
think, dude,
100%.
just being genuine, just putting something genuine on the table. Like someone, I saw like a tweet the other day, and it was about those dumb fucking songs that we all hear that are like, hopefully, people understand what I mean when I say this, but they're like sync songs. They're songs that they're almost like written for a fucking commercial or like a movie.
Yeah.
And like it's almost like these like clap folk, like, hey, like these like
Yeah.
fucking banjo, like whatever. And it's like, that's the kind of song where I'm like, fucking skip, bro. Like I like
Yeah.
skip. Like you just know immediately, like if someone's, I don't know, if someone's compromised the vibe like that, then
Yeah.
there's no, it just doesn't feel like there's integrity in it. And so
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
that's like the equivalent of like stock footage in video editing or filmmaking is like you could go
basically
get
AI.
random stock footage.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was gonna say. Is it's just like it's like just manually generated. It's not created necessarily.
yeah,
You know.
exactly. So curated. It's like curated
Yes.
specifically. Yeah,
Yeah. Are
that's
there
not
any
a good song.
songs?
Those
What's
aren't good
that?
songs. The moral of the
Yeah.
story,
Not.
those are not good songs. Yeah,
Yeah. Trash songs. Yep. I get you.
gotta go. Yeah,
Are th-
less of that.
are there are there any songs in the Crooked Teeth like discography that stand out to you as some of your favorite?
Um, I love our last single, 1 Week Off. I mean, that was like a really, I don't want to like overuse the word like I give it to it. It was like a vulnerable song to write. I literally wrote that song because I had a therapy sesh and I was struggling with my health insurance, and I had like a lapse and I couldn't get a refill on my freaking Prozac. And so I had this
Hmm.
like literally like a week off of my meds where I was like dealing with all the dumb bureaucratic bullshit of medical insurance. And I wrote this song out of just like pure, frustration and catharsis.
Yeah.
And that's our last single, and I love it. We got to write with this dude Nic Long, who he did a lot of work with Travis and Blank. He's written on like the last 2 Blank records, and like getting to go into the studio with him and someone who's I've always just wanted to like put our brains together because I feel like you and I like we're from a similar we
Yeah.
were and so that was really special, and to go and just bring something in that was again authentic. I love that song. um I think right now, I mean, I'm really nestled in to writing our next like record or cohesive release, whatever that is, 2025 or 2026, whether it's an
Yeah.
EP
Whenever it
or
comes.
whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. And I'm really excited about what's coming out with that. And I know that maybe that's kind of cheap to say. I feel like I'm, just trying to sell whatever's cool, but that's how I feel. I mean, like,
Yeah.
not to be reductive towards anything that's come out in the past, but like the way I write music a lot of the times is like as soon as it's out and it's other people's, I disconnect from it pretty quick.
Hmm.
In a way that like it really was a part of me, and I give it out, and then I'm like, I love you when I'm playing you for 3 minutes on stage, and we're having a moment together. But like I
Yeah.
don't really actually like, this is the thing, now that we're talking about it out loud. It's funny, I don't have like, before our tours or shows or whatever, I don't sit down with the songs and like listen to them. Like I don't, and
Hmm.
it's not because I don't love them and didn't love them when I made them. I think that because things are such catharsis for me, that like just
Hmm.
once they're gone, and again once they like that upload bar on the DSP goes and they're out there, I'm
Hmm.
like, it's not mine anymore. Like it's not mine.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I get way more attached to like the new song, one of the new songs that like just started working on for the next release. Like I've probably listened to it 500 times since I got the mix, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. This is fucking awesome. Like this is exactly
Absolutely.
what I wanted to make, and we did. And then at some point I'll get sick of that one too. And
Hmm.
so Yeah, I would say that for me, it stays really current. Whatever's in the present moment is what I'm really, really excited about. And again, that's not to be dismissive of anything else. It's just, or reductive. It's just, I just get really stoked about the current thing I'm doing. So
Yeah, as you should though. I mean, as an artist, it's not like you want to stay stagnant. And I think the entire point is to explore and to find new territory for
yeah,
your creativity, you know? And
totally.
I I think the criticism of like artists saying, "Oh, this new stuff is the best we've ever written." I think that criticism is more boring than the artist saying it because I'm like, yeah, the
Dude,
artist is gonna be most hyped on what they're currently writing. Like it
right,
makes sense, you know?
right. And I hope so. Going back to the conversation
Exactly.
earlier about just riding with my faves, dude, like I hope that their intent is to keep growing their legacy and evolving and like being
Yeah.
sicker than they were 10 years ago or 5 years, whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely, I mean, dude, I could go down the list like the band, one band I'll say right now that I'm just constantly impressed with. One, Comeback Kid,
Hmm.
always just like every fucking release they're putting out is
Yeah.
just slappers.
Yeah.
4 years strong, dude. Like every album they
Oh
put
my
out,
God.
I'm
Yep.
just like, dude, you guys are literally getting better. Like you're aging like wine. Like this is
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm like usually just like so stoked to like uh to grow and like meet artists and like myself where I'm at. Like I think that's like literally the whole point of it. You know what I mean? And
100%.
I experience great joy playing all of your songs on the set list, or else I wouldn't go out there and play a show.
Hmm.
But I truly just like get so obsessive and hyper fixated on whatever I'm doing in the current moment. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
I feel you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and you mentioned 1 week off, and I just got to
Yeah.
say that song is fucking phenomenal. And
Thank you.
I, yeah, of course, I think you guys wrote something really special there. And
Thank you.
um, so you mentioned writing that after doctor's appointment after this
Yeah, yeah.
kind of fiasco with medication. For the
Yeah.
chorus, you say 1 week. It's 1 week off my medicine, higher than I've ever been. I don't want to take a sedative. Is that what you say?
Um, yeah, I could use a sedative, but I don't want to take one. Yeah, it's
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
That's
is
true.
so
That's what I said.
catchy. Yeah.
Thank you.
But now having some context, I'm like, wow, that is extremely vulnerable.
I, we sent it to this. There's one, like radio network that always play. Like I won't say always, but like, and I really appreciate them because everything we send over to them, they take a listen to, and if it's appropriate, and they're like, yeah, this is gonna rock ass on the station, like they'll take it.
Yeah. Hmm.
We sent this one over to them, and their reasoning was that like it was too emo. They were like, it's too emo. And I was like, I don't think that they mean in like a Hawthorne Heights like sound way. I think that they
Yeah.
mean in a like literally the lyrics are too vulnerable and
Yeah.
everyone wants like a hype up anthem song on here. So at first I was
Wild.
like, how dare you like slap on the wrist. And then
Yeah.
now thinking back on it, I'm like, you know, maybe in terms of like commercial viability, it did suffer because I was just too vulnerable and too honest. But no, man, I mean, let's come back to why I like write song. Like I write it because I needed to. Like
Yeah.
um, if we all thought it sucked, it would have just and been inappropriate or like dumb to say. Like it would have hit the chopping block. So
Yeah.
no, I think that again, like I think writing tongue in cheek or whatever, or writing like in metaphor is like I do that sometimes too. But I think like there's something that like to bring it back to like hardcore. It's like I feel like that is something that taught me how to just like be as genuine as I can as often as I can through this like gift I've been given to communicate with others. So I,
Yeah.
I really do not take it lightly that I'm able to like write a song and someone is going to like it's gonna be digested word for word, at
Hmm.
hopefully face value. So and that's something that like hardcore really taught me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was really what's really special about the era that we kind of grew up in was, for all intents and purposes, and for lack of a better description, like compared to hardcore, like Crooked Teeth is a pop punk band. Like
Hmm.
if we're gonna be on one side of the spectrum, like we're definitely more of a pop punk band than we are a hardcore band. But something that I took away from this influence of hardcore, especially lyrically, and just like with the more a message, it's maybe more existential at times, or I don't know if existential is even the right word. Like it's just more aware, like just has a
Yeah.
more awareness of existence. I feel like bands like the Wonder Years and Fireworks and Set Your Goals, Make Do and Men, like there's a lot of these bands that while they were more melodic and like pop punk and emo, Transit, like I feel like a lot of those bands were able to really curate like meaningful lyrical songs that like push the listener to think about things a bit more like critically, or I don't know, just like have more of an analysis. And Fireworks is one of those bands I always think about.
Hmm.
Their first full length was like definitely very socio-political, but so incredibly like it's produced by Chad Gilbert and like has this, and Brian McTernan, I'm pretty sure, and it has this very like, I don't know if you're familiar, but that was like an
No,
album.
I'm like I know Fireworks. I'm putting this in my search history so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Um, because I think Davey Havoc might be on one of their songs. Maybe I'm
Huh.
tripping.
That would be crazy. I don't know how I would have
No,
missed
I'm
that,
thinking
but
of a band, Souvenirs, actually. I
oh
think,
yeah, yeah. I know who
yeah.
Souvenirs is. Also,
Uh,
I'm crazy for Gatorade on the show. I This is like a weird, this is not an endorsement that's happening right now. I just had like one of these, I was like really thirsty and like I needed a sweet thing.
yep.
And
Oh,
it was
I'm
the
dude.
only plausible thing. I just want to make that clear on the show.
Hey,
I'm not
you chose a great flavor though. Blue Gatorade all day.
the only one.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
only one.
Anyways,
I'll
anyways.
I'll fuck with the red one here and there, but if Gatorade wants to send us some
Yeah, we don't
royalties
have to
for that,
be, yeah,
yeah,
we can
I'll
be
take
above that.
I'll take some free Gatorade if they see this. All right, I got
Anyways,
Fireworks.
Fireworks, check them out. Yeah.
Yeah, I got them because I know this album Gospel.
It's a great record. Yeah. All I
Yeah.
have to offer is my own confusion is probably my favorite one.
Okay, good to know.
Um, but yeah, I just think that like that's always impressed on me, like that era of music and like punk rock, pop punk, hardcore. Really impressed on me to just like I'm not trying to say like use my voice in this like political way. I definitely don't want to be that to be misconstrued. I just mean like I don't know, to like write songs that are just like I don't really just sit and write endless songs about heterosexual heartbreak, or shit like
100%.
that. Like it's just not really what I spend a lot of time. Like it doesn't even occupy that much time in my brain. So I'm like, I really feel like I owe it to myself and to just anyone that's listening to like write things that are more about the common, I don't know, day to day existence beyond just
Yeah.
that, which is kind of the norm and sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
thank God you
so
don't write songs about heterosexual heartbreak because we have
more
more.
bisexual heartbreak.
Please, yes. I don't care if the gays got to go through more breakups. Just write
Yeah,
more heartbreak
more,
songs.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we got enough of the heterosexual heartbreak.
Yeah, we got a line with it.
So, and on 1 week off, is this the
Yeah,
first track with Livy?
yeah. It's the first track with Livy on it. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, Fucking crushed it. And we just wrapped up a really fun, something we've never done and something I've always wanted to do, but we just did a whole like cover EP. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so we got some really dope covers that we love that we just like hear everywhere, and
Fuck yeah.
I just want to do
I
our own
saw
spin on it.
I didn't get to listen to it yet because I saw you sent it to me, but I saw the
Yeah.
track listing and I was like, okay, that's a fucking great lineup of songs.
I mean, it's quick, it's only 4 songs, but yeah, really stoked about that. And it's been really fun getting like creative with Livy and um,
Yeah,
yeah.
how did you discover Livy? Because she seems like an all-star when it comes to just like her talents, you know?
Oh yeah, man, she's super talented. We connected like probably like I want to say like 2020, 2021 in maybe in the middle of COVID, just through like mutual friends in LA. And
Hmm.
when we had a member change last year, she was just kind of on the list of people. I was like, I think it'd be really fun to like just explore,
Hmm.
at the very least, like touring and playing shows, because we still had, at that time we were gonna go out on tour. Trash Boat, who they had to end up canceling the tour, but like we had stuff planned, that we're like still gonna hold true to this.
Yeah,
And so we just got to grow with Livy in terms of playing shows, and she's so talented at vocals and
yeah.
bass. And she's really like super into like the behind the scenes stuff with audio production. So
Hell
it's
yeah.
just been, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And the song, I mean, it seemed kind of like just like when I shared the song with her 1 week off, she was like, "Oh wow, this is like instantly relatable." Like
Yeah.
I don't know, she was like the first person to be like, "Oh, I get this from a personal level," and so it made it really easy for her to like connect and sing on it. So
Yeah.
I know I can speak on her behalf in terms of that story. So yeah, dude, it's been great. So I'm really stoked for the Fever tour. Um,
Yeah.
that's gonna be our second tour together, so it'll be great. Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, yeah, she sounds great on it. And, having followed her now, after you and I started talking, I started following
Yeah.
her and I was like, oh wow, she's fully like she lives and breathes
Oh
this
yeah.
stuff,
She loves it, dude. She's
Yeah.
in the trenches.
Yep. Fuck yeah. Love to see it.
He loves to see it. Yeah.
So you also mentioned you wrote that song with the producer has worked with Travis and Blink and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you learn from writing with him?
Um, well, he's better at guitar than I am. So Nic Long, wherever you are out there, I mean, he might have some years on me too, some chops on me. But I learned that like a lot of what was really cool from like a Blink like punk rock level is just like having very similar ideas of like how things would be cool sonically.
Hmm.
And I think in terms of like my takeaway from him is that just how efficiently he writes. I mean, it's like, yeah, if I came up with a sick thing, it would like make him go, "Oh, that's fucking dope." Wait, like, what if, you know, and then like an abridged version of it. When I was like, or
Yeah.
an amended version, that I was like, fucking, yeah, it's like you read
Yeah.
that extra like brain cell that I'm missing. Like you are able to fill that void. And yeah, so he's just real such a strutter. Um and I mean it makes sense, it's like when I'm listening to Blank, like especially, he worked extensively on One More Time. And like I could
Okay.
hear his riffs, it's like, and
Hmm.
that's a thing, like when he came in to work with us, like I mean, I wrote the main chords and stuff, but like the like this weird like
Yeah.
harmonizing things that he's just like, I don't know, man. He's genius. It's great. Why
Yeah.
they and the big bucks or whatever they do.
100%. Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
make it to the top. You don't make it to the top by sucking.
Yeah, yeah, no, dude, you got to get in there and shred. You got to get in there.
100%. Yep. You got to
Yeah,
be in the trenches, like you said.
get in the trench, dude.
So does
Yeah.
is the new stuff you're writing with him also?
No, this has just been I've just been writing on my own. My friend Nick Miller, he was in this like screamo band called the Skylar Drive from my hometown.
Oh hell yeah.
And
Fuck yeah.
yeah, and he built out a home studio in Lodi. And so it's been really nice. I've just been like going over there like 3 days a week, and we just get lost in the sauce. And by lost in the
Hell
sauce, I
yeah.
mean that like we just actually just like we're not
Yeah.
actually like drinking. We're horrific, you know. So
You're vibing.
yeah, it's been really
Yes.
sick, and it's like that's kind of where I'm at too. Like the last, I mean, the whole time the band, I feel like the whole time I've been doing music, it's just been like go, 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 go. You know, like little
Hmm.
time to like slow down and kind of like enjoy a season and just like let things breathe a bit more. And so, kind of getting to do it at a pace where like I am not like going down to LA for this, you know, rack at a time and then coming back to it's
Yeah.
like it's been really nice to just pop over there and like see family and like catch up with a friend after, you know, like so
Yeah.
that's the speed I'm at in
That's
writing right
awesome.
now. And it's been really nice, like really much needed, and I'm super, super freaking pumped, dude. I'm going into the
Hell yeah.
studio tomorrow. Very excited about it. Dude, I love music, man. Like
Hmm.
I can't I can't overstate how much I love just being involved in making music. It's a blast for
Yeah.
me. I get giddy thinking about it. So,
You can 100% tell, and it comes back to what you said. Like you can feel you can feel sincerity no matter what the artist is writing. If it's sincere,
mm,
you feel it. You know.
totally, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So you are with Tough Management, right? That's Jason and DJ,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, just selfishly, when you get I guess a manager like that or a management group, are they the ones that are getting you shows, getting you gigs? How does that work?
You know, fortunately, in the context of Fever, that's how
Hmm.
we became, yeah, lucky enough to do that. I'll be honest, like touring with the with Fever was something that, you know, I did not even ever think was possible. I
Yeah.
actually, for, you know, I've held Jason in such high regard, you know, just as like as an artist, you know, I know he's a real human
Hmm.
too. You know, we've
Hmm.
gotten over that. Um, but no, I've just like held him and his artistry and everyone in his camp in like such high regard for so long. That even like asking about something like that, like it just didn't, or reaching out cold, like it never felt like something I could even, um, I couldn't materialize that thought.
Hmm.
So, in the context of like us doing the Fever tour, you know, in a couple weeks, like that is, yeah, 100%. Like, you know, I mean, yeah, just like at the kindness of Jason and I think it's just, I think that like at the end of the day, one thing I've learned is like, and DJ, our other manager, and Jason, like, dude, wonderful. So fucking smart. But I think like one thing I've learned is like music is always going to be what nails it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
music is always what's going to get somebody on board with something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like, I think about just like over time, like the things that have just happened out of nowhere for artists that have been like grinding for 10 plus years, and you're just like, wait, what now, you know?
Yeah.
And I think and that's again meant to be dismissive or reductive towards anyone's talents or ability to like grow an artist or to cultivate that. I think that what I mean in the context of like a manager being able to like hold these like really big opportunities is like I've never wanted to in my career think that like just because we worked with a certain person, they would be able to get us a certain thing. I think that
Hmm.
it's always been about aligning with people who are just passionate about music
Hmm.
and honestly like passionate about my band and like being involved
Yeah.
in what we're doing, because if they're not, I mean, it's like I wouldn't want to burden anybody with, you know, being involved in something that they don't kind of, you know, any actual like interest in, or if they're just looking for some like, I don't know, monetary, like I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
So as
You
far
don't
as
want to
that, like,
you don't want to be with someone that's just looking to exploit you.
yeah, exactly. And I have never felt that way with DJ or Jason, and I don't think that there's necessarily anything to be exploited about our band or anything. You know, I think it's pretty much all out there, for the most part. but it is incredibly like gracious and kind and intentional and sweet of them to like offer us that tour, because that's something that I truthfully like wouldn't have directly asked for.
Hmm.
And to have just kind of a full circle moment, like that, no matter where the future leads us, like to just be able to have our past cross like that and have that be a part of like our story is, yeah, I'm just like so grateful for that. But like to anyone out there, I don't know if anyone would be listening for like advice on like, new bands or artists like signing with management or whatever. I think that a lot of managers do exploit people. A lot of people in the music industry like do exploit people, and they are looking
Hmm.
for this that fits the certain shade of this, that, or the other, without actually like having that like giddy moment about the music.
Yeah.
Um, and that's something for me that like, dude, when I get excited about music, it's like, dude, it's like I can't shut up. I have to tell
Hmm.
everyone, So,
Yeah.
and I feel the same way. Like the way I felt about DJ and Jason with our band is has been like such an affirming experience, So,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel just really grateful and lucky. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. How did you
mostly.
meet how did you meet them?
Um, Jason, I've met a few times just through through being a fan of Let Live and Fever.
Hmm.
Um, and then, I want to say DJ and I connected online as well. I think it was just through like, I think maybe like he found us around our release, like Eat My Apple in like early 2024.
Okay.
Because we were kind of really like scratching the itch with a bunch of Blink fans and like people like skate punk and shit like that. And I think that, uh, he must have. I never really asked him, but I feel like that's how he discovered us. And one day, like I don't know what it was where I just felt safe, like kind of sharing with him, like where I was like, hey, you know that management, and like this, what's going on? And then he's like, I want to manage your band. Here's the deal, like Jason, I want to manage you guys. And then I was like, holy shit, this is like that's crazy. You guys are
Yeah.
crazy. You
Yeah.
guys are crazy for that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the short of it. It's funny though, like Jason, dude, he's just like he's just got such a huge spirit, and
Hmm.
it's crazy though. Like I always knew that we like if we connected, we would connect, But
Yeah.
it's just wild. Yeah, it's wild to have like this be a part of our journey. And also like, dude, just getting to kind of sit back and watch like Fever and just like really fucking own it right now, and like
Hmm.
and then also like where it live have this really like special comeback. It's like it's been really cool as a fan. Like I just
Yeah.
really really enjoyed that. Yeah, and also like Jason's a hardcore nerd too, so
Yeah.
that's always
Oh
fun.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think so the first time I ever met Jason was in like 2011 at a Let Live show. Had
Nice.
no idea who they were because this was back before you could just discover
Right,
bands via your phone. Um,
right.
I talked to him then, and then the next time I talked to him was like I think 2013 at an American Nightmare like reunion
Oh
show.
my gosh.
Yeah, and talk about hardcore nerd. Like people underestimate that part about Jason, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's what I also like loved about Fever. I mean just the message. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's such a community driven message.
Yeah.
And while they definitely implement more new metal and just kind of more, even just more modern, like breakbeat sort of stuff, like,
Yeah.
um, and it's like Thomas Pridgen and April, they're not like traditionally like hardcore,
Hmm.
musicians, but like the, the message that they bring and the intensity that they bring, like it harkens back to like me just going to Gilman Street and seeing Have Heart or seeing
Yeah.
Ceremony and Verse and Bane and like just like I don't know, just that sense of purpose. Like it's so like they're so ripe with it, and I think
100%.
it's really special. So it's and it's kind of crazy. I'm like I would love to see Fever do a hardcore tour, like I like that.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to see them go out there and do that because I think they would, absolutely fucking own it. And I don't know. I think hardcore where it's at would be like super embracing of their sound, of their sonic sound. I think it'd be really dope. So
I agree. Yeah, I
my two
think
cents as a fan. Yeah,
yeah. Well,
strictly as a fan.
they were gonna do that before Jason had to take a break. That
Oh
last
yeah, that's
tour,
right.
that was
Yeah, yeah,
like
Wasula.
yeah, Zulu, Click, and
Yeah,
Fever, and that was
yeah,
like if I remember the venues correctly, it was a lot of like hardcore staples, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Super
So
dope.
for
Yeah,
for this tour, about what size venues are you guys playing? Like clubs?
yeah. Like clubs, like
Hell yeah.
I think like two, three, 500 maybe max.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm dude, really, really stoked. I mean, I just had the opportunity to like work for them on the shows they just did on the East Coast around Warped Tour, and like that was just so fun. Jason's just fucking ape shit all the time, always at 15. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. So
Dude,
great.
it's astonishing to me when I see like a clip of him doing something nuts and then 24 hours later there's another new clip and I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah, and
God,
something totally different.
yep, he does
Yeah,
not slow down and he's been like that
it's
since
wild.
I saw him 15 years ago, you know?"
So sick, dude.
Yeah,
So
it's the
badass.
fucking best.
Yeah.
Well, I love to ask guests if there's anything they're hyped on right now. So any bands that stick out to you right now that you've been really into?
Let's see. You know what? I know that there is, and it's just like I dread this question because like I can think of 10 bands when I'm not thinking about music, and then
Yep.
like right now I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like, as far as like new music discovery, I am very settled in nostalgia right now. I am
Hmm.
like so much like, dude, I'm in my car right now and I have just so many. I'm
Do
just
you have
gonna show you
CDs?
like they're just CDs, dude, and
Yes.
they're like
Fuck yes.
there's unfortunately there's no quintessential hardcore CD in here right now. I have Third Eye Blind,
Fuck
Full
yeah.
Titled, Liz Fair, uh, the Mark Tom and Travis show,
Hell yeah.
um, Bad Religion, some other shit, Manson, but like I I have a like I think it's because I've also got some ear trouble, some
Okay.
hearing trouble, to where I've really been lately, like when I'm driving or anything, like I've been spending less time listening to music, and this is like such a lame response. Um, but I'm gonna go back to Turnstile, like new album's fucking amazing. I'm
Yeah,
always bumping that. I'm actually gonna look at my Spotify right now to see like
go
what
for
I've
it.
been
Yeah.
listening to, so I can tell you. Um, oh, I really like the new Horror single. I don't know if you know who the band Horror is. It's like
Uh-uh.
HO99. Yeah, they're kind of just like this like industrial punk. I wouldn't say hardcore. Really really dope. What else am I listening to? Koyo, dude. I mean,
Oh,
that's
dude,
a band
Koyo.
and scene I've really been enjoying. They remind me of being in eighth grade and going to see like Set Your Goals and all those bands.
Do you listen to
Origami. What's that?
one Origami Angel's awesome. Uh
Yeah, yeah, really cool band.
two, do you listen to One Step Closer?
I've started to, and it's actually funny. We just filmed our we did a video for one of the covers that we did, and we filmed
Hmm.
it at the Bazaar Skate Shop in Wilkes-Barre,
No way.
which is where one of
They're
the dudes
from.
that owns it. Yeah, and one of the dudes that owns it was in One Step Closer for a
Oh, no
while, and
way.
like he was telling me the
Fuck yeah.
lore. And they are a newer band that I've just started to get into. I think kind of like in that same algorithm as Koyo.
Yeah.
Um, really been digging
That's a
that.
funny way to put it, the same algorithm as Koyo. Yes,
It is. It's
100%.
like kind of. It's
Yeah.
like, dude. I mean, it really makes me think of that era. That like when I started getting into like Daggermouth and Set Your Goals and
Hmm.
really like going back and learning about Saves the Day and Lifetime. Like that's what they remind me of. And when I listen to that, like truthfully, it's kind of been starting to like bleed into our newer music because I'm like, it very much makes me want to write you know
Yeah.
songs that are have a bit more intensity. in that way. So I really like, that's a band I really love right now. Origami Angel, they were set up next to Fever's Tenant Warped Tour, and I went over
Okay.
and watched them, and I was blown away. And they're like the funniest
Fuck yeah.
dudes. I really enjoyed them.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that as far as there's also like, dude, I'm a big ska guy.
Okay. I can see that.
I get a lot of
Yeah.
shit for this. Like, I can see that. Yeah. And there's this band called Millington, dude, that I'm loving right now. Like,
Okay.
very cool. Like, it's like perfectly if like Blink and Less Than Jake like meshed. And
You
they're
said
they're super
Millington,
cool.
right?
Millington, one word.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep. All right. I
Um,
see a song called Summer Disease and there's trumpets and a
that song
saxophone.
Radio.
Yep.
That song Radio, dude, that's a
Okay.
heater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are some artists. There's a really cool artist, Sludge Mother, who's also
Oh,
in
yep.
Tough Management. And I've been just really stoked to watch Cami like grow that project. And if you're into Alice in Chains and Bush
Yep.
and like any sort of I mean, I'd even say like Super Heaven and stuff like that, like just
Mm-hmm.
big 90s grunge like vibes. Sludge Mother is who I would turn my riff daddies on to, and
Fuck
mommies.
yeah. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, those are some artists I can think of off the top of my head. I really love Jason, our drummer, really got me into the new Lil Wayne, the Carter Six. So I've been bumping Carter Six
Hell yeah.
a lot. Um, so
Wow,
shout out Jason for that.
I gotta inspect this because my coworkers were talking shit on it when it came out, but now I'm curious
Of
how it
course,
actually is.
dude. There's all
Yeah.
something that no one's safe. No one's safe.
I mean, dude, for our
Uh,
age, remember when A Milli dropped and that
oh
whole
yeah, dude.
album, like what's the track that also got big? Like I'm not human, I'm an alien or something like that.
It's that would be Jason if he was here. He would. That's his forte.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
the Carter 3 was the album, but yeah, I got a soft spot for
that
Lil
tracks.
Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, make some room for Carter Six.
Hell yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's
Fuck
become
yeah.
my workout album.
Hell yeah.
Um,
That's perfect.
yeah, I mean, other than that, dude, like I've been, I'm kind of like lucky for you, and you're niche. I'm kind of a podcast guy right now.
Yeah.
Just for easy volume on my ears.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, it's just like, dude, one thing I really enjoy is listening to the radio. It's
Hell
really
yeah.
ridiculous, but we got Live 105 here in the Bay Area, and I love their curation, like especially their nostalgic stuff. Like they're throwing in, deeper cuts sometimes. So I love to like listen to the radio and like get shocked
Fuck
by
yeah.
like whatever song's next.
Yeah.
I know it's really fucking geriatric and antiquated, but I guess that's what happens when you start to get older.
Oh
You start
man.
to
Yep.
revert, I'm like a salmon. I'm swimming back upstream, wherever I'm gonna, die
A
off as
thousand
an old
percent.
part someday.
Oh,
But
dude, I've lately been thinking like, man, do I need to get a DVD player? Because I've just been,
that's
I've
so
just,
funny.
yeah, I've just been thinking like, I love watching movies, but I kind of want a collection again. I don't want to
Yeah,
just
and I
rely
kind of
on
want to
what's
like do
streaming.
the whole thing. I want to do the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. Yeah.
Yep.
No, my new
Yeah.
favorite thing that I do as a not type A person is having CDs, multiple CDs, is not putting the proper CD back in the proper CD case. That's been a new trend that I'm revisiting, from my youth.
Yeah, and then
So
it's a surprise. It's a surprise every time you open it. So it's kind of just like turning a
yeah,
playlist or a radio station on.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's fun. Yeah, I wish I had more to plug. Like I said, I should like actually maybe I should have like an index card that always has like a fresh, for
Great
all the
call. Yep.
interviews, that we
Yep.
do, just being
Yep.
this incredibly famous band.
Yep.
I should
Very
just have notes ready for you.
very very geriatric of you to reference an index card instead of just
An
iPhone
index
notes.
card. An index card, yeah.
Kids, if you don't know, it's a
Oh
piece of
man.
paper.
It's just a
Yep.
piece of kind of thick or paper.
Yep. Very handy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Three by
Well,
five. You can
Tyson,
get them in 3x5, and I want to say 4 by. Oh, you got a
I
stack.
got, yeah, I got a stack right here.
Damn, dude, I
Yep.
could use. Oh,
Yeah. I already
wow.
had notes written. Yep. From something else,
For the
some other
crooked teeth?
project.
Oh,
No,
not for me.
I don't know which ones these are, but I just happen to have some index cards here. So
That's funny.
still,
Love
still a
it.
big, still a big pen and paper dude though. I definitely love
It
writing.
helps to write it out. I swear, it's part of the whole like memory. Just the I don't know. My mom swore
Yeah.
by it, and she's right. So
Yeah. That's the shit.
I
Well,
trust her.
Tyson, thank you for joining me today. Super hyped
Dude,
we've
of
been able to
course.
chat.
Great
It's
hang.
absolutely, and it's so cool to hear all the musical influences you have. And now I'm like, okay, this all tracks. I can hear this all in Crooked Teeth, and
That's
I'm
cool.
I'm excited to see you guys out in Seattle. Excited to hang. Just I really hope for the best for you and the band.
Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm stoked to hang too. That'll be great.
Yeah.
That venue's super dope. That's gonna be
What
great. That's our second
what
night
neighborhood
tour
is it
too.
in? What
It's
neighborhood is
it,
that?
it's right by Pike Place, like
Fuck yeah.
literally walking distance. So
Hell yeah. Fuck
whichever
yes.
one that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, man, any last shout outs you want to do?
No, if anyone on the West Coast is seeing this, I will say, I don't know when this is gonna come out. Maybe before tour, maybe after.
Yep. The 14th. When do you leave?
Oh yeah, that's a great time. So if you're seeing
Perfect.
this, you're from the West Coast, come see us with Fever 333 and Fire from the Gods. It's gonna be
Hell
fucking
yeah.
lit.
Yeah.
Uh, Playing most of the major cities on the West Coast, and yeah, then we're gonna release some new music for you.
Fuck yeah.
And that's all I got. That's what I got for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you,
Sick,
man,
dude.
and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. See you, man.